Every time we plug our boats into shore power, we trust that what comes out of that marina socket is safe. But should we? After a simple kettle fault on board Impavidus, I started investigating the shore power system, and what I discovered surprised me. Mains electricity can kill. This video explains the principles behind my own boat's electrical installation. If you are not an experienced electrician or experienced with AC electrical systems, you should consult a qualified marine electrician before making changes to your own boat. Our story begins some months ago. We bought a cheap kettle from the usual suspects online. We wanted a small kettle that would run on less than 1,000 watts, so we could use our newly installed lithium to power our kettle rather than using gas. Now, eventually we were hoping to go all electric, but that's another story. One morning, as I was making a cup of joe, as the Americans say, I smelt burning coming from the kettle, and sure enough, all of a sudden there was a bang and the inverter cut out. Our consumer unit breakers tripped out and we were saved from electrocution or possibly fire. I don't know which is the worst. And of course, me being me, I stripped the kettle down to see what was wrong. Turns out there was a bad connection on the crimp that went straight to the element. The crimp and the wire had detached themselves from the element and shorted against the neutral wire. Our RCDs had done their job, isolating all the circuits in the boat and protecting us, so no harm done, or so we thought. Well, I simply plugged in the bigger kettle that we'd been using previously and went to reset the breakers. Only problem was, the breakers wouldn't reset. Now, as required by the European Boat Directive, our boat has a system which allows you to identify if you have reverse polarity. If the polarity of the supply is correct, a small green LED lights up in the top left-hand corner, as you can see on this screenshot. If the polarity is reversed, it shuts down the supply and a red light comes on. Suffice to say, we had a red light and the breakers wouldn't reset. So some investigation into what was going on was necessary. This meant that I had to remove the consumer unit from the panelling and remove all the wiring. Of course, labelling everything up beforehand. I took plenty of pictures with my camera to make sure that I'd got all the connections right. Now, I'm not a big fan of these kind of connections where mains current is involved. They're not 100% trustworthy, I would say, especially on a boat where vibration quite often undoes or loosens connections. The breakers are all mounted on what's called a DIN carrier. So there's a steel piece that runs across the back and holds them all in position. Once I'd got that released from the box, it was evident to see there was quite a lot of electronics involved in that function to turn off the power if there was reverse polarity. Affixed to the DIN cable was this printed circuit board with all the connections on it, and you'll note there's a couple of big relays on there, or fairly large relays, like the two black things in the bottom right hand corner. There's also a miniature transformer, a couple of capacitors, and what looks like a small timer chip of some sort. I'm not an electronics whiz, I know my basics, but wasn't able to figure out exactly what it was, but it appeared that was the faulty part. When I took a multimeter to the two big relays, one was stuck open and the other one was stuck closed. I'm assuming the short had locked them or burnt the electrodes in position, the contacts inside that is. I couldn't find any circuit diagrams online, and the manufacturers were, let's say, less than helpful. SVB in Germany did have a replacement unit, but that included all of the breakers and the box and was over £500. They now don't make it anymore, or don't sell it anyway. To make the job doubly difficult, I also had to remove the chart table as it sits above our multiplus, and it's easier to get in from the top and the back rather than try and remove the multiplus and get past everything else. To understand why reverse polarity indicators are so important, you first need to understand how the system works. Let's look at Europe first. In Europe we normally use 230 volts at 50 Hz or cycles per second, with brown live, blue neutral and green yellow earth. In North America you usually find 120 volts at 60 Hz or cycles per second, with a black hot wire, a white neutral and green or sometime uninsulated ground. The colours differ, but the electrical principles are exactly the same. Before we go any further, I'd like to make one thing clear. Electrical distribution systems vary around the world. There are TN and S, TN, C, S and TT systems, together with different standards such as IEC, ISO and the ABYC. Covering every possible installation would take hours, so this video concentrates on the underlying principles that apply to almost every shore-powered boat. One of the biggest misunderstandings is that neutral and earth are the same thing. They're not. They are intentionally bonded together at one point in the supply system. After that, they perform completely different jobs. Neutral is a working conductor, carrying the return current during normal operation. Earth is a ground. It is a protective conductor and should only carry current when something has gone wrong. As you can see here, the PE, ground or earth, is bonded to metalwork on the boat. If your polarity is reversed, then your live or hot becomes the neutral and your neutral becomes the live or hot. And this can be very dangerous. If live and neutral become reversed, many appliances still appear to work normally. That's exactly what makes reverse polarity so deceptive. The purpose of the indicator lamps is to warn you that the supply is not what you expect. Now, making this video, my objective isn't to prove Bavaria wrong. It was to see whether there was a possibility that the indication lamps could be simplified using fewer components while remaining easy to understand and fault find, which makes it more robust. As we've seen in my case, the electronics can fail in the case of a short circuit, leaving you with no power at all, no indication as to what's gone wrong, and no available replacement off the shelf, even from SVB. Now the problem is that once the red light shows, all that you know is that the polarity is reversed, or that the breakers have failed, or your electrical system has failed. My idea was to make it much more simple, like we used to in the old days, before the European Boat Directive came in. After all, there are much simpler versions of the same system available from other people, like 12-volt Planet, for camper vans. They work in exactly the same way, and they're a lot cheaper. But I wanted to do it even cheaper still. And so I ordered two 240-volt neons, one red and one blue, and devised myself a very simple circuit. Let's show you how this works. So you arrive at your new marina and plug your shore power in, and then you check your consumer unit. If the red light is on, this means that your polarity from the pedestal is incorrect, because there is current flowing from where a neutral should be to the PE, or ground or earth. Therefore, the neutral is actually live or hot. It's possible you could fit a small audio alarm as well. So let's move on to the green neon lamp. Now where live or hot is running through the neon lamp that's green to PE, ground or earth, depending on where you live, the circuit is safe, because current is now running from the live or hot down to PE, ground or earth. And this proves that the live is in the correct place and that you have an earth. After doing a little research, I found that you can actually buy these as a panel from chandlers around the world. They're quite readily available. Well, there you go. Somebody else had the same idea. Not more expensive to buy them from them though. And so for the cost of 2 neon lamps, I've been able to repair my existing consumer unit, and I've used the same RCDs and breakers as I used before. I simply had to drill 2 12mm holes in the faceplate and put 2 neon lamps in, and a little bit of wiring as well. Now here's a question: what happens, or what's wrong, if the green light and the red light are on together? I've actually shown you in this video, so you might want to go back and just have a look. But there's something that's at fault if both lights come on. Tell me in the comments if you spot it. It's actually an important safety feature that I haven't mentioned yet. Anyway, tell me in the comments. Okay, I just want to clarify something. A reverse polarity indicator and an RCD do different jobs. The indicator warns if there is a polarity issue or an earth issue. The RCD, or GFCI, continuously compares the current leaving on the live or hot with the current returning on the neutral, and disconnects the supply if the two differ, and it does this in milliseconds. I'm not asking you to copy my solution. I'm encouraging you to understand your own boat and the way that the electrical systems work. And for me, this was a quick, easy and cheap fix where I saved a considerable amount of money by just using a little brain power. Ask yourself one question: would I know if something was right or if it was wrong? If this video helps you answer that question, then it's achieved exactly what I'd hoped. As always guys, please like, subscribe, share, wear that kill cord, but most of all, sail safe. Bye for now.